Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself some 2 cents about G.I. Joe as a whole before anything else. I start off with the rise of the 25th anniversary figures right now. Yes, I saw the figures during the time I was getting my camera ready and everything else, and when I went to the store, I got some Joes that I really liked, and when I saw some like Snake Eyes, Scott, Duke, and all of them, I had to scrounge those suckers up like anybody else. And I got myself thinking, these figures are freaking better than back in the day. Now, seriously, I like how they did figures mostly because, again, since Marvel's now officially with Hasbro for the toy wise, I had to go ahead and, take it upon myself in the liberty to see them, and being enthusiast of G.I. Joe 2, seeing these figures, it looks pretty freaking hot. Now, during my first reviews of G.I. Joe figures from Stalker, Gun-Ho, and Missions Everywhere, I decided, let me try and get these reviews out for a while, and I kind of like these figures as a whole, and see myself, yes, these figures should have been more better and more sophisticated on, and more modern, both facial and gun-wise. But either way, these figures have been one of the most recommended figures I done during my reviews, and I think these guys, Jay, can agree with me on that term too. Now, to the upcoming history of the G.I. Joe figures on the Joes, I think when I did my reviews for Snake Eyes, I knew some of the figures were pretty good and matched Snake Eyes as perfect line of Snake Eyes and the history throughout until the Resolute figure came. Still, I have my favorites, like I said in the previous videos. First off, I like the first Snake Eyes with Ninja Snake Eyes with Timber, because again, I love how the sculpt of his head was magnificent, way better than all of them put together. And I had to say, this was the better Ninja figure than all of them, except his sword. Now again, I wish the figure was more darker tone, but hey, he is more of a good Ninja figure than all of them, next to a few of the others. Now, when I saw G.I. Joe Resolute, the cartoon itself on Cartoon Network and online YouTube, of all people, my mouth dropped when I saw the whole series throughout. Even from the battle between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, this is a Snake Eyes was supposed to come out during the cartoon series in the 80s. Now, Snake Eyes, to this day, blew my world out and made me smile when I get back up. What I mean by that, this guy is a total knockout. Still, as the series itself, voice work wise was like a 3-person job. When I mean 3-person job, you have the guy who did Spike Spiegel of Cowboy Bebop, and Tom of Toonami doing Duke in multiple characters, and including Charlie Adler, who done G1 Transformers, Cow and Chicken, and so many others, including Starscream of Revenge of the Fallen in the first Transformers movie, playing Cobra Commander, which he did a shockingly good job, and so many others. Still, the cartoon itself as a whole was monstrous cool, and a little bit better than Rise of Cobra. Jay, how you feel about Resolute?
I really don't have much of an opinion because I only saw one episode of the series.
You did?
I was impressed with the artwork, and it is an interesting and compelling series, and I actually would like to see the entire thing. As a matter of fact, I'm having a friend of mine work on getting that done for me. But G.I. Joe, again, has a history just as long as Transformers does. G.I. Joe
way longer.
As far as the animated series is concerned, they started around the same time. They've had a very, very long history. Now, of course, as you just mentioned, G.I. Joe has been around a little bit longer than Transformers, because I can remember G.I. Joe that came out in the 70s with the Kung Fu grip, because I had one. So I can remember that. But as far as a collector and an enthusiast, the 3 toy lines that fascinated me throughout my growing up were Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Star Wars. And I knew as a collector, I would collect one of these series. I didn't know which one, and eventually I chose Transformers over G.I. Joe and Star Wars. I'm not disappointed, but I'll say again, Star Wars over the years has put out some impressive figures and equipment,
Yep.
as well as G.I. Joe. I mean, figures and accessories are sick when you think about it. What is it about boys in mock warfare? We love it. We love our soldiers. We love our equipment. We love our weapons. We love to fantasize about action and war and being able to choose sides, good versus evil.
And yeah, the heroes be our personal favorite, but you gotta give some love to the bad guys, because the bad guys still got, some mad, wicked skills as well, including determination, sheer will, and brutality force that mix the action up real well.
Well, all of these action stories that are written, even though they put together the classic battle of good versus evil, they always create evil characters that people can identify with, people can relate to, and more importantly, that people are going to think are cool. Yep. Regardless, I mean, because the majority of people are going to support the heroes. The majority of people want to see and do good. Yep. But some of the times, you just got to look at the villains and go, dang. Like I mentioned before, Optimus Prime is my favorite Transformer. But my favorite villain is Starscream of the Transformer universe. Yes, love Megatron. Yes. Gotta give Megatron props and respect. Galvatron. But Starscream is the man. No matter which incarnation of Starscream you look at, Starscream is the man.
Jay, you gotta get back to G.I. Joe. Again, me and Jay also kind of surprised that Rise of Cobra was a good movie. And again, like Revenge of the Fallen, this movie was also a perfect escapism movie. Now again, I love how they picked most of the cast, including Mitch Nicole of P2 playing Scarlet, perfect fit. Now to some saying that Channing Tatum, who played Duke, was not perfectly fit because he's a pretty boy. But facial wise, yes. Acting wise, no. But as for everybody else, they did a good job, including Dennis Quaid playing General Hawk. I was surprised that, again, the movie fit the action mold, and definitely this movie is worth seeing from both old school and new school. And still, I love how the movie sequence goes. Now, as for the action figures itself, few figures came to mind and still blew me away. Snake Eyes, some of them, the Snake Eyes figures are pretty dang good, including Storm Shadow. But the best figure out of all of the line had to be those Delta 6 acceleration suits by Duke and Ripcord, which I will review them later on sometime next year. Still, I like both those those figures because they both in the movie should have been not used, but action figure wise, yes. They take down let's say 1,000 bats with one suit and take them down without no problem. Now again, I love how the action sequence go, including the action, the acting, so you cannot go wrong. I love this toy line next to Transformers because, again, they got G.I. Joe more modernized than ever. And still, I was hoping that next year, as the toy line progress, see a new series and probably a follow-up to Resolute to give the actual toy line a monster push. Again, I don't want to see no more this kitty stuff, but I want to see the same power that was in Resolute and Rise of Cobra progress on to next year and give, let's say, teenage boys some extra outlet and more realism to everything else. Now,